if you know me, I'm pretty obsessed with nourishing herbal infusions. And it's because for the last, almost 3 years that I've been taking wild weeds and incorporating them into my diet, into my daily routine. And it's because, honestly, after trying so many different things in my healing journey, I finally found a practice that was sustainable and really simple. So I had terrible eczema, IBS, anxiety, adrenal fatigue, breakouts. I lost my period for 2 years. I had a whole host of things in my bodily system that were not functioning optimally. And I tried a host of different alternative ways and pills and antibiotics until finally, bless her, I came across Susan Weed and Nourishing Infusions. And in my apprenticeship, and as I started incorporating them into my diet, I realized how much my body was just lacking nutrients. And this is actually really common for most people because a lot of our illnesses and a lot of our the things that show up in the body are due to a root issue of nutrient deficiency. It could be a certain mineral or vitamin, and something that is then causing a effect with the rest of the body that can't function optimally. And the reason infusions are so amazing is because they're usually and should be used with wild harvested plants and weeds predominantly. And that's because our food that we eat, even if it's, some expensive organic meal, the process of how we are growing food has leached so much minerals from the soil. I mean, they say since the 1950s, the decline in minerals and vitamins studies have shown are terribly low compared to what we used to get from vegetables. And so even though we're eating all these good foods, we're still not getting those trace minerals. We've, altered seeds for fruit to be more pretty and more bright and have higher yields, but we're not looking at the content of the minerals inside of it. And this is fact. And you'll notice when you start incorporating infusions, just this vitality, and you no longer are feeling these cravings, because a lot of our cravings are because we're craving minerals, that like feeling like you're not full but you've eaten a whole meal is because we have meals that are not nutritionally dense but just carb and calorie dense. So yeah, it's amazing. There's also something to be said for looking at long brewed infusion versus a tea. I know many people drink teas and they have all these herbal teas, but the idea with the infusion is to have a lot of herbs. So you really pack, about a cup worth of dried herbs, and by infusing it for overnight or above 4 hours, you're actually allowing those minerals and medicinal properties of the plant to seep into the water. And this is shown again with studies that you need a certain amount of time in order for them to actually fully come into the water, the liquid. And now you have a liquid that is packed with nutrients, packed with vitamins and minerals, proteins, phytoestrogens, all these different trace, delicious substances that our body is craving. And oftentimes, even if we eat, this beautiful meal, a lot of us are dealing with digestive issues. I know I was. And I wasn't actually taking the nutrients out of the food. Depended how it was being cooked, or depending on my anxiety at the time, or my leaky gut, whatever issues you might have had in your colon or digestive system, you could not be pulling those nutrients out. So with infusions, you're actually getting all of the minerals in a very absorbable, digestible way, because what happens is when it's in liquid form, it's actually magnetizing and going straight into the bloodstream and into the body. So you don't have to worry about how it's traveling through, and being digested. It's really accessible. And there's a doctor who spoke about how when we incorporate whole foods, so the entire plant, rather than a supplement, we are actually getting the micronutrients that are working synergistically with the primary one. So when we isolate nutrients and we sell them like magnesium, calcium, it's not in its natural format. And there are many different constituents in plants that actually support the body's recognizing and absorbing of them. So when you incorporate infusions, you're getting the whole plant. And so you're getting nutrients that are far more accessible and that the body recognizes over, an expensive supplement in a health food store. They're also right outside your door. So if you do live in a place where you can forage for nettles or red clover or mullein, it's so exciting because now suddenly this medicine is accessible to you and you don't have to, save up for some expensive superfood powder. Some other big important things is we are constantly being robbed of micronutrients. So not only are we having an issue with our food being less nutrient dense, but we're also being bombarded by chemicals and pollutants and foods that are actually leaching minerals out of us. So it's like, if you imagine, not only are we not getting, but we're depleting. So we're not ever reaching this fully thriving state. And I noticed it with myself, like my hair and my nails. As soon as I started giving myself nutrients and minerals and vitamins, everything else started working optimally. My energy, I stopped drinking caffeine, I stopped even wanting alcohol. There are certain things that the body, as you fill it with what it needs, the craving will also start to naturally fall away without there being this intensity of denying. Because all you're doing is you're including, you're adding in. You don't have to stop eating sugar or stop drinking coffee. You just have to give your body all the yummy nutrients it needs, and then it no longer craves for those other stimulants or sedatives. There's so much that I can talk about, including, our beauty products. As women, we put all these different chemicals and things on our body, and the body then has to metabolize all these extra oxidants and pollutants. And so instead of metabolizing and drawing out nutrients from food, it's trying to process all of the toxic buildup that we're adding onto our bodies. So yeah, I'm gonna be filming a course and offering it online so you can start getting to know the different weeds. It's so basic, you don't have to know a lot about plants in order to start doing this. And once you get it, and once you've made your infusions and you get on that routine, you'll really have this empowerment over your own health, and you can then share it, and there's no need to come back to the doctor or the healer or the witch for more. It's knowledge that is so empowering, which is why I don't sell the infusions, ready-made. I encourage everyone to get their hands dirty, to start feeling the weeds, start foraging them, and making the infusions as an act of self-love and discipline to provide this, beautiful vessel that we really, need to thrive and to feel taken care of and nourished. And honestly, infusions are a really, really simple and beautiful way to do that.